So first, let's talk about the elephant in the room. This camera has a ton of hype behind it right now, and you can see a lot of influencers and a lot of people actually talking about it. This is not a sponsored video. I buy all my own stuff, and I actually bought this to fill in a gap for me in all the cameras and all the gear that I have. I originally had a Lumix S9 that I used to travel with, and it was absolutely great for that. And I ended up selling it and regretting it not long after. That being the case, I needed something to kind of fill it in. All I had at the time was my S5 II, and I have my Canon R5C, which I love, but generally that's for all my professional work, and it pretty much stays in the office unless I'm going out on a job. And I wanted something that I could carry on a day-to-day. I wanted something the same size as the S9, but I wanted something a little bit more powerful with a little bit more features. And when I seen this thing come up, I had to have it because it fit the mold for what exactly I was looking for. When you look at a camera like this, a lot of people are comparing it to like the FX3, but for me, I would more compare this to like the S9, to a Sigma FP possibly, or even maybe like a Blackmagic Pocket OG, something like that. It's a pocketable cinema camera. It's super powerful. It's smaller and compact. Now, I paired it with a really small lens, and that's done totally on purpose because I want to be able to travel with it. I want to be able to just run and gun my daily life better than I was doing before. And this really helps. When I had my S9, it basically stayed with me 24/7, and I miss having a camera on me all the time. And that's the majority of the reason why I actually bought this. I figured if it shoots raw video, I could use it in tandem with my R5C for some professional work. I could put it on the gimbal and do the same thing. But at the same time, if I keep it off the cage and I don't take it too seriously, then I could actually just throw it in my backpack and carry it around and actually shoot around with it, which is really what I wanted this for. An everyday dad cam and a way to capture the daily life of what I do on a daily basis. I am sure that if you're watching this video that you know all about the specs of this thing, but let's just go through them real quickly and how I'm using them. 32-bit float is absolutely amazing. I used it for a talking head video just a few days ago, and I just paired it with a regular Laviar mic, and I actually purposely made it clip just a little bit just to see what would happen. Took it back to post and I was able to fix it, no problem at all. So that is very, very good, which I could totally appreciate this. So that tells me that's one little notch for it being a professional level camera, I should say. The next thing is the elephant in the room. Everybody talks about the red Kodak in here, the R3D. I think it's absolutely amazing. It renders the colors really nice, and honestly, it pairs well with everything else that I'm doing. So far, so good on that. Now, the file sizes are big, but I kind of have like a little workaround for that. I turned around and bought a CFast Express Type B case, and I bought a mini NVMe. You basically buy the case, you buy the NVMe, you put it together, and you put it in your camera and call it a day. It's been, absolutely amazing. I got a 1 terabyte NVMe with the case for about 120 bucks. I bought the cases on eBay. They're called Masked Fish. They come 3 in a pack, and I think they were $30 for 3. So I think it's a good deal. And if you're looking to save on space with your storage, maybe you should be looking into doing things like this and not just buying the SD cards outright. Now, I know that some SD cards are going to be better than others, but I have not had any issues with this thing, and I'll post some of the links down below as to what I was using, and maybe you could do it yourself. I actually found a video of a guy making it for a Z9 or a Z8 camera that I got the idea from, so kudos to him. Good looking. It really did work. Moving on from there, the screen is obviously huge. It is absolutely massive. Oh, by the way, it boots up super fast, which is great, which I love. So that's really one real cool thing that I love. You could go from video to photo in like in a second. So that's really cool. And the screen is obviously amazing. It's huge. And I think it's a really, I think this is going to change the way the industry does business moving forward. I think that if you're going to be a camera, you're going to be competing against Nikon, you're going to have to come out with a screen like this in the future. So as far as future proof, I think this has got it. I think it's pretty cool. A lot of people are mentioning the fact that the exposure tools are not great on this thing. I did do the update, and it does give you the little line for when you're exposing for red in your histogram, which is helpful. But I actually went on Cine Tools' website and I downloaded their false color LUT. And I'm using it and it works well. So I haven't underexposed or overexposed anything. I'll post some stuff so you could take a look. And you pointed out to me if I did. But as we know, if you're shooting in RAW, you could bring back, your exposure pretty easily, as long as you don't overexpose too much or underexpose too much. So I think that's actually great. Now, like I kind of said before, I mean, this fills in a gap for me. I'm, like I said, I'm an amateur videographer. So this is not more of a review. This is more like an overview. If you're looking to buy a camera that is very powerful and is kind of future-proof from here for the next, I want to say for the next 4 or 5 years, you're not going to have to replace this thing unless it breaks. I think it really does hit that price point. And it has all the professional tools. I wish things like this were out when I first started, because I would have totally have jumped on this thing. I come from shooting on EOS M because I wanted cinema tools. And after that, I got a Canon 90D. And then after that, I started shooting on my iPhone. And now, if I was starting all over again, I would probably get something like this. I would either, depending on the price, obviously, I would probably get, like a Nikon ZR. I think it's actually really cool that you can shoot RAW internally. And it, and it renders pretty easily too. Like, I've been putting it in my Mac Mini, and it handles the file sizes just fine. And I actually shoot it in 4K. I haven't been shooting the 6K only because I don't need 4K. I don't need 6K. And another thing people don't mention is that Nikon has really cheap full frame lenses. Really cheap, and the quality is not bad. I got this TT Artisans 40mm f2 on eBay for like 100. Was it eBay? Amazon for like $160, I want to say. And it's actually a beautiful lens. It's super high. It feels high quality. The aperture is clickable, which is really great, and it's small, which goes perfect with what I want to do with this camera. So now. Would I use this for professional work? I think so. I think absolutely. Why not? If you rig this thing out, I think it's perfect. I don't think there's anything you're going to be missing, really. You have 32-bit flow. Yeah, people are kind of like upset that it's got a mini HDMI, but with this screen size, you don't necessarily need it. And with the cages, with locking in the HDMIs, you're fine. I have a micro HDMI on my R5C, and it's just fine. I never had any issues with it. But immediately when I bought it, I bought the cage clamp, and it just clamps the cable in there so it doesn't move. So you just got to be aware of what you're doing. If I were starting a production company from zero, I think I'd buy like 3 or 4 of these. I start with like 2 of them for $4,000. And just go from there. Unless I'm going used, I'm definitely going R5C. These are going to be in the market, and they're going to be red hot for a long time. I don't see these things dropping in price. I don't think they need to. I think it's priced right. So yeah, now that is just kind of an overview. I just wanted to talk about it and just kind of get this video out there before it got too late. And yeah, if you have any questions, if you want to talk about it, feel free to leave me a message down below. And yeah, I'm out. Peace.